Hello, everyone. My name is Astrid, and today I want to share something that I've learned working as a social work intern in a school. I work with students who struggle with big feelings of self-doubt, feelings of anxiety, feelings of depression. One of my second grade students often said, I am not pretty enough. At first, I thought it was something small, passing comment. Children say all kinds of things at all times. But the more I listened to her, the more I realized how powerful the thought actually was. It wasn't just about looks, it shaped how she felt about herself every single day. It was interfering with her daily life activities. She would cover her face in class, avoid group activities, and whisper things like, No one will like me. I'm afraid of what they will think. I don't think I fit in. Sometimes she wouldn't even speak during her lessons. Her fear of being judged stopped her from participating in things she once found pleasure in doing. Have you ever had a thought lingering in your head that just wouldn't go away? Now imagine carrying that feeling all day, every day at age 7. That was her reality. And the moment that truly made me realize something. Helping children understand and reframe their thoughts early on can change their entire direction of their emotional world. Even small interventions, just a few minutes a day, can truly change a child's life. This talk is about a simple but yet powerful idea. Our thoughts affect our feelings, and our feelings affect our actions. Every thought that we have is connected to an emotion, which then projects onto behavioral patterns. Cognitive behavioral therapy, also known as CBT, teaches kids to notice what they're saying to themselves, asking if it's actually true. What evidence do we have to prove that that thought is actually true versus it just being a thought? And then building more kinder, more balanced thoughts. For example, if a child is thinking, I am not smart enough, that thought leads to anxiety, which then leads to silence, which then leads to not raising your hand, which then leads to them believing that they are not good enough. With CBT, we can help them pause and say, wait, what evidence do we have that actually proves that this is true, that I am not smart enough? Slowly, thought by thought, their confidence starts to rebuild. Something I've learned is that even at a young age, students are dealing with a lot, and much more than adults actually realize. They're navigating comparison to friends, academic pressure, expectations to behave perfectly, trying to fit in, feeling different from their peers, negative self-talk, social media influences from older siblings, family stress. They don't understand yet. For my student, the thought, I am not pretty, impacted everything. It wasn't just about appearance, it was about value, worth, belonging. She avoided raising her hand, refused to participate, and constantly compared herself to other girls around her. And here's something that many people overlook. Children don't have the vocabulary for things like self-esteem or social anxiety, so they express it through their behavior, avoiding activities, withdrawing, isolating, crying easily, saying I can't before they even try, or shutting down completely. Cultural factors also play a huge role. Some families believe that mental health struggles mean weakness. Some students are taught to stay quiet, to stay strong, to suppress their feelings, or keep their emotions inside and not tell anyone because that makes them strong. But that's not the reality. When kids come to school feeling anxious or inadequate, they often have no roadmap, no language for what's happening inside. And without early support, these patterns become habits. Habits become beliefs, and beliefs turn into anxiety, leading to depression or deep shame later in life. Here's what I did with my second grade student. CBT thought identification. We started with identifying the thought rather than neglecting or suppressing the thought, acknowledging that those thoughts are actually there, but acknowledging what can I do about this thought? Is this thought actually true? What evidence do I have to prove that this thought is actually true? When she had the thought, I am not pretty, I asked questions like, is this true? What makes you believe that? What evidence do you have to prove that that's true? Has anyone ever said something nice about you? She thought for a moment and said, well, my teacher said that I did good at drawing yesterday. My cheer teacher said I did good at this. That was a breakthrough. She saw that not all thoughts that she was having were actually facts. Reframing the thought. Together, we created more positive, gentle, realistic thoughts. I have a beautiful smile. I have a great personality. I am funny. I am caring. I am loved. I can be proud of what I do. I try my best every day. We practice these every single day, just a sentence or two. Even the smallest shifts mattered. When she felt overwhelmed, we focused on emotional regulation skills like deep breathing, counting, checking in with her body. Name it to tame it, saying the feeling out loud. I would tell her, let's take one more deep breath before we decide what to do next. Slowly, she learned that she had more control over her reactions, not the other way around. We created a CBT toolbox book. We made a small booklet with strategies that she liked. She drew a happy picture of herself. She identified and wrote things that helped her calm down and feel less stressed, or 5 things that she liked about herself. And we did these with our activities. She drew herself and she drew the things that she liked. And this was a tool that she can just look back at any single time that she felt overwhelmed or she felt like she wasn't good enough. Taking a deep breath, asking for help, she decorated it with stickers and she carried it everywhere. The best part, she became the helper, the one teaching others how to cope. And that's when I knew she was truly growing. Over time, she started raising her hand, smiling more, participating fully in class, taking healthy risks, taking engaging in things, activities that she didn't before, looking forward to being on school campus, which she was avoiding at a point. These weren't huge therapy sessions. These were 5-minute moments built with consistency and built with trust. Cultural considerations. One of the most important lessons I've learned is that CBT is not a one-size-fits-all. Students' cultural backgrounds shape how they express their emotions, what they believe about themselves, whether they feel safe sharing these thoughts, how their family understands mental health. For students whose families don't talk about feelings, we had to start with building trust. For students learning English, we use simpler words, not cognitive distortion, but tricky thoughts. For students who felt they had to be strong at all times, I framed coping skills as superpowers. We drew our activities together, identifying what super skills, what superpowers that she had. Every small adjustment mattered. By honoring each child's culture, we not only are teaching them CBT, we're teaching them safety, dignity, and belonging. This internship taught me small, consistent interventions change lives. Students are more resilient than we actually think. Some students are so used to being lectured, they are not used to being heard, to seeing valued, to being seen. And sometimes that's all kids actually want. They just want to be seen and understood. Small, consistent interventions can really help change and have a huge impact in a child's life. Listening matters more than lecturing. Kids don't need perfection, they need tools, and no child is too young to understand their feelings. One of my most favorite moments was when the student said to me, I still have days where I feel like I am not good enough, or I feel sad, but now I know what to do. Now I know how to fact check these thoughts and realize that they're not actually true, that these are just my thoughts. That sentence held more strength than what I actually realized. It showed growth, insight, and independence. Back to my student, she still has moments of self-doubt. We all do. We're only human. But now she knows how to pause, reflect, breathe, and talk back to the thought instead of believing it blindly. CBT doesn't erase all challenges. We're still going to deal with challenges every single day. But I think what's important is giving these kids the tools that they need to overcome these challenges that they face. It doesn't erase challenges, it doesn't make life perfect, but it gives students, even 7-year-olds, the tools to face their fears, to calm their bodies, to regulate their emotion, and to speak to themselves with kindness. If we can help children rewrite their thoughts early, we can help them rewrite their futures. And that is all for my TED Talk. Thank you so much for listening.